Hey guys, today I want to take a look at Otis Lawrence's unique driving style. Otis was able to get 5th in the F1 2025 F1 Sim Racing Championship and was one of the youngest and most outgoing competitors.
And Fassi finds 5th place. Otis Lawrence is roaring because he's taken pole.
Currently, lots of esports drivers are now posting their onboard footage from the F1 24 Sim Racing Championship that happened a few months ago. So now we have a chance to look at some of the different driving styles that are not shown in the broadcast. And it's especially good when they have a nice clear on-screen display, so you can really see what they are doing with the inputs on the throttle and the brake. So here we are at China, right away, lap 1. Brendan Lee's in front of him. Look how much curb he's using, opening lap curb 1. And he's using curb, and he's actually using some of the grass, so none of the other drivers in front are using. We got Jarno Artmir, you got Brendan Lee, got Ulas, and then we have Thomas Ronhar way in front. A lot of curb. Another thing to look at, when they have a nice clear or on-screen displays, are they doing any double inputs? Especially turn 1 at China, you got to kind of get on the grass, tap the brakes, back on the throttle, back on the brakes, and you don't want to be kind of double inputting because then you're not really getting rotation or additional speed from the throttle. But he does a good job. He goes back and forth. You can see some of the drivers, they do have a bit of a input overlap, and that's something you don't want to be doing. And then he undercut here, so he's actually behind Barry Burman, again using more curb than Barry on the track. A bit later now, he's with Thomas Ronhar. Again, he likes using this curb in Sector 2, that right-hander, and he uses a bit more curb, on that left-hander there. One thing he mentions in his video is that he was trying to focus on the front left tire wear. So obviously the curb usage is not impacting the tire wear in F124 just because he stated that he thought he had good or better tire wear than some of the cars around him, even though he was using a lot of curb.
Main objective here is just to relax and chill out, just take care, nurse the tires, because
he does have generally he has a smoother steering. He's not doing the double flick of Ismail Fassi, but again right here, look how much curb he uses. He gets onto the curb and he even gets a little bit past onto the curb. It's something sometimes you see in this game where you want to get even farther off the curb, kind of into where there's a divot at the apex. There could be a bit more grip. Again, so his strategy was to undercut and then kind of stay with Jarno and Thomas and hope they battle it out. But he does make, not a mistake, but he does get a bit of a tap from Joris Kojan behind, and that causes him to get into a big spin here. So he's on a curb that most other cars are not on, and then when he does get a tap behind from Joris, he loses, he spins. So that's one of the risks of using the curbs more, is you are more unstable if you get tapped from behind. Ultimately, at that point, he was on older tires and he was not able to gain any more places back. We can also look at his style at Australia. One of the first races of the season. Big part of his curb usage here is the high-speed chicane. He uses a lot of curb in the first apex, and then even more curb in the second apex. Look how much he's using relative to Freddie Rasmussen. That's one of those curves where it's easy to get track limits. It's also easy to unsettle the car. Again, he likes to tap the apex, tap the red sausage curve on the inside of the apex. When Ismail Fassi and Freddie Rasmussen did not do that. It did kind of unsettle the car a bit. It would be interesting to know, is he using more ride height? Is that a compromise he's making? That I'm going to use more ride height, but I'm going to use, which generally gives you a bit less grip, but it can allow you to take these curves more smoothly. So is that a compromise he's trying to make in the setup? And again, even when following close behind, takes a bit more curb. That time Freddie did take a bit more curb than the time before. Again, a lot of curb there. Again, so the moment between Danny and Ronhar. You think at this point you get a podium ahead, but he makes a bit of a mistake on the braking, goes too deep, allows Danny to come back through. And then Jarno also comes in through, so he was not able to get a podium there. So yeah, the curb usage, that's Otis's kind of special talent. So be sure you can check out his channel. He does kind of more in-depth race reviews that he's been posting. And let me know if there's any other driver or onboard that you've seen that you see something interesting that you want me to check out. Thanks so much for watching. See ya. Bye.